For me, and probably for a lot of other people, Destiny and Destiny 2 are games that are very, very hard to put down once they get their claws in you. The first-person shooter mechanics in Destiny games are literally some of the best that you can get in any game, and when you have a lot of friends who also play the game, it can be a really, really fun time. But since Bungie split from Activision a few years ago, a lot of people in the Destiny community, and myself included in that, feel that Bungie are slowly but surely destroying their own game, and it's really, really strange. They seem to make a lot of really odd decisions and just seem to be hell-bent on putting their own game into the ground, and it's very, very strange. And keeping that train of thought in mind, the recent Bungie blog post, also known as the TWAB, which stands for This Week at Bungie, gave us our first real information about the armor synthesis within the game, which is essentially transmogrification, if anyone knows that from other games such as Diablo, where you can take a piece of gear, keep all of its stats and all of its abilities, things like that, and then transfer the visual properties of another item onto it. So essentially you can look the way you want. And it's a big part of looter games in general, just to have your character look cool to you, you know? But as I said earlier, Bungie being Bungie, have laid out their plans for probably the worst transmog system in any game ever. But before we get into this absolute train wreck of an idea, I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who's been taking the time to check out my content and my videos, and also, you know, engaging with me in the comments, chatting with me, leaving thumbs up, and, you know, subscribing to the channel. It's brilliant. I started trying to get to 25 subscribers. We passed that easily, and I think we're at about 50 subscribers as I'm making this video. So my next goal is to get to 100. If you guys can help me get there, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, maybe go check out the rest of the channel, see if it's for you, see if it's got the kind of content you like, and if you like what you see, please consider subscribing to the channel. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the actual news, shall we? So as I said earlier, in the recent TWAB blog post that Bungie put out, I believe on the 22nd of April, they detailed how the armor synthesis, or transmog, would actually work, and I think it was almost unanimously hated by basically everybody, myself included. And you know, some people will say, oh, gamers never happy about anything, but no, it's just Bungie being stupid. It's Bungie being idiotic like usual and not listening to people, despite the fact they always say, we're listening to our players. You're not, though. That's the thing, you're just not. But let's go over how it actually works first. I am reading from the blog post here, but I will put this up on screen just so you can see it and read along with me, but it basically gives you 4 steps. So step 1, defeat enemies to earn synth strand. Okay, simple enough. You kill enemies, you get synth strand. Step 2, spend that synth strand, which is really hard to say by the way, on bounties to earn synth cord, if you're still with me. Step 3, convert synth cord at the loom in the tower into synth weave. Okay, that's 3 different synths we got right now. And step 4, use synthweave to convert an unlocked armor appearance, legendary quality or lower, from collections into a universal armor ornament. So there you go, easy, right? You kill enemies, you get strand, you spend the strand on bounties to earn cord, you then convert the cord into weave at the loom in the tower, and then you use that weave to unlock the armor appearance. Isn't that just the easiest thing you've ever heard of? Now, it's not exactly rocket science, it's not stupidly complex to someone who plays Destiny regularly, you know? But it's just these extra steps that just aren't needed. You know, like, why do we have to earn, or why isn't it just a thing you can do? As an example, I've been playing Neo 2 lately. I've actually been co-oping it with a friend. I played Neo 1 as well, and I really enjoyed it. It was a great game, and I really like Neo 2 as well. But in that game, you have an option called refashion, and you go to the blacksmith in the game, you choose which piece you're wearing, and you just choose what it's going to look like, and you pay a bit of gold, and it just changes it to whatever you want. That's it. Nothing else. No stupid things that you have to do in between. It's just, it is what it is, right? But with this system, Bungie always feel to me like they're trying to be clever. You know, like those people that think they're really, really smart, but all they're doing is just saying big words they read in a book once. Like, they don't fully understand what they're saying, but they sound smart. Do you see what I'm saying? These people at Bungie, they just think they're being really clever with this and trying to, I don't know, weave it into the way the game works, you know, like the lore of the game and all that. I just think it's stupid, frankly, but it does go on to say, To start, players will begin earning Synth Strand when defeating enemies in Destiny 2. After earning 150 Synth Strand, players may visit Ada 1 in the tower to acquire class-specific bounties, which will reward Synth Cord. Which of course is another issue because since Destiny 2 launched basically, the community has been saying, can you please stop making us grind bounties over and over and over again for everything in the game. Literally every system in the game falls back onto bounties. And while I'm personally okay with doing bounties a considerable amount, I am now getting kind of annoyed with having to do them all the time. In fact, I haven't played Destiny in weeks since picking up the Beyond Light expansion a little while ago when it was on sale. I just don't care about it enough anymore. They're just slowly killing it. But anyway, I digress. It goes on to ask and answer a question for us, which is how many of these can you earn? First of all, why is this a question? But anyway, it says players may earn up to 10 synthweave per class per season, except in Season of Redacted, which is the next season. They never tell you the actual name of it until they announce it properly. It also says to celebrate the introduction of armor synthesis in Season of Redacted, players may earn 10 additional synthweave per class through the introductory experience. In total, during the Season of Redacted, players may earn up to 20 synthweave per class, which can either be used to convert 4 full sets to ornaments or 20 specific items. So there you go. So as I literally just said, why is this even a question? Why is there a limit on it? Well, I'll tell you why there's a limit on it, so that they can push you towards the Eververse and get you to spend real money. And I hate it when any company forces you to want to pay money into a game. You've already paid for it. And that's the other thing that really, really irritates me about this. Destiny is one of those games where it wants to have its cake and eat it too. It wants free-to-play players with all these microtransactions and manipulative systems like this one that we're talking about, and then they want to charge you 30, 40, whatever it is, for expansions as well. And I'm just like, no, Bungie, look, if you want a free-to-play game, all the expansions are free, right? That's just, you're not charging me 30, 40, whatever dollars or pounds to do this, to buy your expansion rather, and then put this kind of crap in the game on top of it. For me, that's a huge no-no, and they're just not listening to us, even though, again, every time they say, we're listening to all the feedback that we get. I'm just sick of hearing that, because you are not listening to the feedback, otherwise you wouldn't be doing this shit, would you? Sorry for the rant, but it irritates me when stuff like this happens, because it doesn't have to be this way. But from what it says here, it looks like you can buy extra synthweave from the Eververse store for 300 silver each, or you can buy a bundle of 5 for 1,000 silver. And I think in the UK 300 silver is about £3. I don't know if it's the same in America, as in 100 silver is $1. I'm not 100% sure, but if you want 5 of these synthweave tokens, then you're going to pay about $10 for it. And again, it should just be in the game. I'm just at a loss for words as to why they would think this was a good idea. But many other YouTubers and many other people that call this shit out, they always say something that really sticks in my mind, and it really, really makes sense. So what they say is these companies take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but they're always pushing, if you see what I mean. So they take 2 steps over the line, they take the backlash, and then they go, oh, okay, well, what we'll do, we'll lower it, and now you can do this many instead. See, we're good, we're a good company. And everyone goes, oh, brilliant, look at Bungie listening to their fans. And then, of course, they've still taken that 1 step too far over the line. And recently, I think Yong made this point as well, and he's spot on with it. Absolutely spot on. It is ridiculous, it's manipulative, it's disgusting for a game that charges you for expansions. Which is it, Bungie? Are you a free-to-play game? Or do you charge for expansions? Which one are you? There is actually one more small thing from the blog post that I do want to mention, and that's to do with shaders, which is the items that basically color your armor. Normally they cost a certain amount of glimmer, which is in-game money, per armor piece, and of course some legendary shards, which are not exactly a rare resource, but they're a bit harder to come by. Bungie have said that the requirement for the legendary shards has been done away with, so you don't have to use those anymore, but in order to buy them now, they will cost more initially. and they cost bright dust, which is basically a premium currency. So it used to be 40 bright dust per shader. Now it's 300 bright dust per shader. So what they're saying though is if you pay 300 bright dust for the shader, it's basically unlocked, and then you can just use the in-game money, which is pretty abundant, to apply it to different pieces. You don't have to worry about the shards anymore. See, really what they should have done is taken away the shard requirement and just left it at Glimmer. That's how they should have done it. But no, again, Bungie does this thing where they, give with one hand and take with the other. It's stupid. I just can't understand why they would not want to, garner some good faith from the community. I just don't get it. Now, I'm a player of Destiny. I've been a Destiny player for, a long time. The first thing I played was the Destiny 1 beta all those years ago. I played through Destiny 1. I have played thousands of hours. In fact, I'll just put up here my current time in, I think it covers Destiny 2 only. I don't think this covers Destiny 1. I'm not 100% sure on that. But there's a website called Wasted on Destiny that shows you how much time you've put in. And as you can see, it's well over 1,000 hours on this one character. And you can actually see the breakdown of what I play. And I'm not someone who's ever been into raiding or really Crucible. I'm not really into Gambit either. Gambit's kind of shite. But I'm not someone who enjoys raids. I've played them a bit. I've never completed one because I've never had a good enough team to actually do it. And I only really play online with people that I know in real life. I don't tend to make friends online very much. Maybe I'm just old and out of touch with how people do things these days. But it's just not something that I do. And I do not enjoy raids. I don't like the mechanics. I don't like how it's all, stand on this pillar and then do a backflip and dance, and it's like why am I doing this in a first person shooter? It just seems so stupid. But I understand people really like raids. Raids are there, they have their place, people love them. That's fine. I have no problem with them existing. They're just not my preferred content, I just like to do some strikes, do some story missions, turn my brain off, do some grinding, that kind of thing. And as a long-time player of Destiny, not a hardcore player, but a long-time player, I'm just fed up with their attitude. And that's the long and short of it. I'm not going to go into massive detail with this because there really isn't a lot to say. It's just I'm fed up with their attitude over there at Bungie. They constantly say we're listening. They constantly say we've got good things coming. And then every single time they let us down. They just feed us a big pile of shit and we go, oh, thank you, Bungie. And then everyone goes, well, maybe it'll be better next time. And it never is. It's never better. And I'm finding this because before Beyond Light came out, I said to myself, I'm done with Destiny. I deleted it from my hard drive. I stopped playing it. And then Beyond Light came, Beyond Light went, and then I only picked it up, I think, a couple of months ago, maybe in March or February of 2021. So I was pretty late to it. I missed a whole season. I didn't want to play anymore. I was just bored with it because I was fed up with the game, fed up with the attitude of Bungie. And then I sort of caved and was missing it a bit, as you tend to do with a game like this. You feel like you're missing out if you don't join back in. So I downloaded it, played all the Beyond Light content, got to, level 100 in that season, and did all that. And then again, just fell off because there's frankly better stuff to play. And, you hear about this Transmog system, you hear about all the other stuff that they're doing and all the failures that they keep feeding us. It's just too much. It's just got the better of me and I just don't care about it. I've once again deleted it. And I honestly think that I won't be coming back unless they were to release maybe a Destiny 3 or something where it's a completely new story, and that's going to be many years off if it even happens, because obviously they've planned out the next few years of content already, and we know this for a fact. So yeah, that's kind of the problem there. It's like a Stockholm syndrome, where you start to identify with your captor. Destiny 2 is like an abuser that you always say, oh, it's just the way it is, it will get better, I'm sure it'll be fine next time, and it never is. And I'm just sick of it, and there's just so many better games out there to play. I'm not saying that you need to do the same thing. I'm not saying that you should completely boycott it or, throw in the towel and stop playing. If you're someone who enjoys it, then great, just keep playing it, enjoy yourself. Life is far too short to worry about these things, but for me personally, I'm done with it for the foreseeable future. I'm not going to play it, I'm not giving them any more of my money. There's just better things to play. As I said, I've been playing Neo 2 recently, and it's been an absolute blast, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. But as I say, here we are again, We're at that point where Bungie says something, everyone says it's really bad, and then plays it anyway. Not me this time, I'm done with it, I'm not going to play anymore. What do you think of it? If you're a Destiny player and you're watching this, please tell me how you feel about it in the comments below. I'd love to know if you think this transmog system is as shit as I do, or if you're okay with it, or you just don't care either way. Let me know if you've given up on Destiny, if you were a player of it before but now you're not. I'd just love to hear anything you got to say in the comments. It'd be really interesting to see where everyone's at. And as I said earlier, looking to get to 100 subscribers, and we're about halfway there as I make this video. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed and you like the content that I produce on this channel, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean a lot to me and I'd be really appreciative. But with all that said, thanks very much for watching and I'll see you next time.